Have you ever felt that crushing weight in your chest? The kind that whispers you're utterly alone in the storm, screaming for anyone to hear your unspoken cries, only to realize the loudest battles are the ones raging silently within your soul, tearing at the edges of your faith like relentless waves against a fragile shore. That deep, aching void, born from betrayals that slice deeper than any spoken word, or doubts that echo like endless thunder in the quiet hours of the night. It's not a mark of your defeat, but a sacred summons to a power you've yet to fully claim, a gentle yet unyielding call from the heavens to embrace the quiet that could finally set you free. Chosen soul, imagine if, in this very breath you're drawing now, the entire cosmos is tilting toward you. The divine architect himself, leaning close to whisper that your silence isn't weakness, but the very thunder he wields to shatter the invisible chains binding your spirit. Beloved warrior of light, the Creator has inscribed a holy seal upon your heart, a destiny so expansive that even the shadows of doubt quiver at the thought of your emerging strength. In this pivotal moment, though, He's not calling for your voice to thunder forth. Instead, He's crafting your pause into a weapon far keener than any proclamation you could voice. This isn't a retreat born of fear or a shroud of surrender. It's the profound elegance of heavenly strategy, a deliberate stillness that realigns the very fabric of your reality without a single word crossing your lips. When the Eternal One commands, stand firm in quietude, He's not quenching your inner fire. He's kindling a supernatural force that surges only from the wellspring of unwavering trust. Your silence isn't a concession to the chaos, it's the masterful current that turns raging rivers, the invisible force harmonizing the stars to illuminate your path to victory. Envision the vast tapestry of the universe folding inward, every thread of purpose drawing tighter around your life as you step into this mantle of calm. Your chosen restraint sends a profound vibration upward, a clear signal to the celestial realms that you place your confidence in the Master's blueprint. Above the relentless din of worldly distractions, with every measured breath you take, holding back from impulsive words, you're constructing impenetrable walls of pure faith, a fortress where miracles quietly take shape beyond the veil of the seen. Your opponents, those forces that seek to provoke, expect your immediate surge, your sharp rebuttal, your desperate bid for validation, yet the divine responds with clarity. Remain rooted, cherished child, for my heavenly hosts are already advancing on your front lines. Remember, the ancient leader poised at the brink of an impassable sea, enemies closing in with no visible way out. He raised no outcry, issued no frantic pleas, just held in profound stillness, anchored in the unbreakable promise from above. And the waters themselves yielded, carving a path through the impossible. Your hush in this hour mirrors that epic unfolding. Unseen barriers are yielding right now, avenues of grace are materializing, all because you've entrusted the story's unfolding to the author of all things. If these truths are stirring the embers of hope within you, that quiet flame fighting against the cold winds of isolation and unseen struggles, pause here and let your spirit respond by typing the number 1 in the comments below. It's a simple act, yet one that connects you to a community of souls just like yours, reminding you that you're not alone in this fight for inner peace. And while you're there, if this message is touching those hidden places where doubt has taken root, consider hitting that subscribe button for Bible Tales Alive. In a world that amplifies every noise but drowns out the soul's deepest cries, this channel becomes your anchor, a daily whisper of stories that heal the spiritual fractures we all carry, inviting you to rise above the turmoil with renewed purpose. Don't miss the chance to join thousands finding solace in these timeless narratives. Now, let's delve deeper into the sacred dynamics at play through your embrace of this stillness. Holding back your words isn't an act of giving ground. It's your elevation into a sphere of spiritual sovereignty, where true authority resides. The world around us thrives on endless clamor, on ego-driven clashes and swirling vortices of disorder. But you, anointed vessel, are invited to ascend beyond it all, to hover in a realm untouched by the frenzy below. Your quiet becomes an irresistible draw for heavenly benevolence, pulling in streams of favor and provision that no amount of persuasive speech could ever summon into being. Imagine a fierce gale whipping around you, accusations slicing through the air like sharpened blades, uncertainties roaring like untamed winds threatening to uproot everything you've built. Yet there you stand, unmoved, lips pressed in resolve, your inner world lashed securely to the unchanging truths of the divine. That composure isn't a passive veil, it's an active declaration of dependence on a God who treasures every hidden tear, who receives every silent supplication, who maps out every conflict you navigate with eyes you cannot yet perceive. By choosing not to counter every slight, you're surrendering the reins to the one who shaped the galaxies from nothingness. The timeless words of the 46th Psalm, verse 10, ring out, "Cease your striving and acknowledge that I am God." This isn't mere suggestion, it's a sovereign directive, a blueprint for living in harmony with the cosmos. Your restraint transforms into an offering of adoration, a living testament that the justice of the heavens far surpasses any argument you could wage in your own defense. Notice how life itself conspires to draw out your response, to compel you to assert, to retaliate in the echo chambers of social feeds, in the pressures of daily labors, in the tangled webs of close relationships. They hunger for your echo, your comeback, your unfiltered surge. But the voice from on high calls you to higher ground. In that elevated hush, frailty evaporates, an invincible essence awakens within. Those who oppose you gear up for your explosion, for a chaos that matches their own. But your steadfast refusal to engage strips them of their momentum, leaving them exposed and ineffective. Consider the teacher himself, standing before the seat of judgment, utterly silent as a cascade of condemnations poured down upon him. His quiet wasn't the prelude to loss, it was the cornerstone of ultimate triumph, rattling the foundations of darkness and clearing the way for the dawn of resurrection life. Your stillness today carries that same seismic potential. Bonds of oppression are fracturing. Gateways to abundance are creaking open to landscapes you haven't yet glimpsed. If this is resonating with the weary corners of your heart, those places where the weight of unspoken hurts has left you feeling unseen and unheard, take a breath and type the number 2 in the comments. It's your quiet affirmation that you're ready to let go of the fight and let healing begin. A small step that binds you to others walking this path of rediscovered strength. And in this moment of vulnerability, where the soul yearns for something solid amid the shifting sands of emotion, why not subscribe to Bible Tales Alive? Let it be the companion that revives those fading sparks of faith, sharing ancient stories that mirror your modern battles, offering not just inspiration, but a profound sense of belonging that eases the loneliness of the spirit's quiet wars. Deeper we go. Your chosen quietude isn't solely about withholding speech. It's about forging open spaces where the divine can perform wonders unhindered. Each time you sidestep the snare of heated exchange, bypass the trap of idle whispers, or temper the blaze of raw frustration, you create an invitation for the eternal to author fresh chapters in your unfolding tale. Picture a vast arena of confrontation, where your challengers brace for your charge, anticipating the clash that fuels their sense of control. Yet you pause in perfect serenity. That deliberate breath of restraint sows confusion in their ranks, sapping their vigor, for they draw life from your unrest. Your poise becomes a tactical masterpiece from the throne room itself, subtly but surely tipping the balance of every encounter in your favor. Reflect on the noble woman of old, facing the shadow of annihilation for her people, who resisted the urge to blurt out pleas in haste. She lingered in fervent prayer, wrapped in a veil of sacred waiting, holding her tongue until the precise hour ordained from above. When that moment broke upon her, her words flowed with such profound insight that they saved an entire heritage from the jaws of doom. Your current hush is the forge for similar destinies. The day will come when heaven releases your voice, and it will carry the authority to sway nations, to heal divides, to birth legacies that echo through time. This isn't a lifelong vow to mute your unique timbre. The giver of every good gift endowed you with a voice rich and resonant, tempered by the wisdom to discern its perfect deployment. In this season, the gentle urging is clear: withhold for now. Lean into me with all your weight. Your silence plants the fertile seeds of unshakable trust, nurturing them toward a bountiful reaping of breakthroughs that will leave you in awe. In the midst of financial droughts that threaten to parch your dreams, resist the pull to voice complaints, hold steady and calm, and watch as streams of provision begin to flow from unexpected sources. When bonds of kinship or companionship fracture under the strain of misunderstanding, turn away from the cycle of dispute, abate in stillness, and observe as the Master himself mends what was torn, weaving threads stronger than before. The voices of the world may label this frailty a sign of retreat, but from the divine vantage, it's the essence of might, a power that redefines what victory truly looks like. Your hush attunes you to frequencies of the sacred, harmonizing with promises that endure while filtering out the static of deceitful echoes. If the pull of these words is tugging at the threads of your resolve, awakening that inner longing for a peace that defies the chaos pressing in from all sides, let your response be as simple as typing the number 3 in the comments. It's a declaration that you're choosing trust over turmoil, a beacon that lights the way for fellow travelers, feeling the same spiritual fatigue. And as you navigate these moments, where the heart aches for validation, yet fears the vulnerability of silence, subscribing to Bible Tales Alive could be the quiet revolution you need. Imagine a space where biblical journeys unfold like personal letters from the divine, addressing the raw edges of your doubts and drawing you into a tapestry of stories that restore the soul's weary rhythm, making every day a step closer to wholeness. Your quiet isn't crafting mere momentary lulls, it's laying the cornerstone for an enduring edifice, a heritage woven from threads of resilience that will outlast the tempests of time. By consistently turning from reactive impulses, you're modeling for those in your orbit what genuine fortitude embodies, a strength that doesn't shatter under pressure but shines through it. Those nearest to you, family, colleagues, even passing acquaintances, will begin to notice the aura of tranquility you carry, the steady calm that holds firm when everything else seems to crumble. They'll marvel at how you navigate the gales without a trace of waver, pondering the source of such unyielding poise amid what feels like endless upheaval. And therein lies your living epistle, favorite one. Your silence articulates a gospel more eloquent than oratory, a narrative of divine sufficiency that invites others to question their own foundations. Let's explore the invisible currents stirring in the heavenly spheres. Each time you opt for this poised restraint, with every instance you curb the instinct to lash out or justify, you're unleashing a cadre of celestial defenders to take up your cause. Warriors dispatched from the throne to shield and advance where you cannot tread. The ancient scrolls affirm in the 91st Psalm, verse 11, "For he will give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." Your serene holding activates these unseen protectors, mobilizing hosts of light to encircle you against incursions that lurk just beyond perception. The forces aligned against you hunger for your utterances, your flares of anger, your tremors of anxiety. Those are the sparks they twist into wildfires. But in the sanctuary of your hush, you withhold their kindling, instead fanning the flames of eternal assurances that consume their schemes. Have you ever felt that insistent tug to set the record straight, to pour out your side in a flood of words, only for a subtle inner prompting to bid you pause? That's the divine at work, the still small voice affirming, "I have this fully in hand." Your quiet becomes a bold manifesto of dependence on heavenly vindication rather than fleeting human recourse. Envision the young shepherd facing the towering behemoth on the field of fate, not bellowing insults or rallying with bravado, but resting in profound assurance of the Almighty's might. That very poise brought the giant low, a testament to the potency of trust unspoken. Yours is accomplishing parallels in your own arena. Monolithic burdens of provision are toppling. Deep-seated wounds of the spirit are closing, all through the advocacy you invite by letting go. Moreover, your hush serves as a conduit for profound heavenly counsel. When speech falls silent, the ears of the heart open wide to receive. The divine imparts his deepest secrets to those who tarry in expectation, as the wisdom of Proverbs 3:5-6 unfolds. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. In this yielded quiet, you're not just submitting, you're listening intently, and guidance begins to illuminate the fog. The career shift you've been petitioning for, the companionship your spirit craves, the pivotal shift you've been awaiting, they're accelerating toward you, unimpeded by the clutter of unnecessary declarations. If this is weaving through the fabric of your thoughts, stirring that quiet hunger for clarity amid the confusion of daily trials, mark it with the number 4 in the comments below. Subtle vow that you're opening to the whispers of direction, joining voices that echo your own search for meaning. In the tender spaces where confusion clouds your vision and the soul whispers for a way forward, Bible Tales Alive awaits as your steadfast guide. Subscribe now to immerse in tales from Scripture that unravel life's knots, reigniting the spark of purpose that flickers dimly in moments of despair, turning every viewing into a bridge from uncertainty to unshakable hope. Over the long arc of days, turning 2 seasons. This practice of quiet evolves from isolated choices into a transformative way of being, day by day, as you select composure over knee-jerk responses. You're cultivating the sinews of spiritual resilience, evolving into a citadel of belief that no gale can breach. Those in your circle will perceive not only the surface serenity, but the tangible fruits blooming from your rooted trust, opportunities aligning, relationships deepening, a palpable sense of favor resting upon you. Your stillness serves as the blank canvas upon which the divine sketches masterpieces of intervention, strokes of grace that astonish all who behold. Think of the devoted mother in her season of barren longing, who turned not to bitter outcries, but to veiled communion, pouring her anguish heavenward in wordless yearning. Her faithful, quiet, birthed a voice that would one day proclaim across kingdoms, altering the course of history through prophetic fire. Your poise is midwifing comparably grand outcomes, perhaps a vocation reborn from ashes, a family circle restored to harmony, or a flow of resources that mocks the logic of scarcity. By muting the urge to fill every silence with defense or demand, you're granting the artist ample room to paint a portrait that will draw gasps of wonder from onlookers. They will trace the lines of your journey and conclude with certainty. Only the hand of the infinite could craft such beauty from apparent barrenness. Life may dangle provocations like bait, seeking to reel you into its maelstrom of reactivity. But you, set apart, operate by a code from above. Your quiet stands as insurrection against the tyranny of noise, a deliberate opting out of the adversary's rehearsed drama. When whispers of malice swirl or circumstances howl for your outrage, the Eternal's counsel cuts through. Hold your peace. My hand is moving beneath the surface. Your composure becomes a form of exalted resistance, a proclamation that no earthly power can rival the one who holds your tomorrows. On the tangible front, this art of restraint goes beyond mere verbal discipline. It's a vigilant guardianship of the heart's terrain. The shadows that prowl seek to inflame your emotions, to flood you with sensations of assault, disloyalty, or diminishment, hoping to lure you into misalignment. Yet in choosing quiet, you opt for the balm of inner harmony over the snare of upheaval, affirming that your inherent value springs from the divine gaze, not from the shifting verdicts of others. Does this mean turning a blind eye to wrongs or dismissing the sting of sorrow? Absolutely not. It means depositing those burdens into hands far more capable, allowing celestial equity to unfold in due course. Your hush is no suppression, but a calculated advance, elevating truth's resonance above the clamor of fabrication. Imagine yourself thrust into a charged exchange. Words land like daggers, imbalances scream for redress. The natural surge is to unleash a torrent in return, to reclaim ground lost. But from the heights, a softer urging arrives. Rest in me. That chosen interlude is akin to sowing a kernel in nourished earth's seemingly modest, yet destined for exponential flourishing. What feels like a trivial pause may well unlock elevations in status, reconciliations long sought, or interventions that defy the ordinary. Furthermore, your poise radiates as a lantern to those navigating their own shadows. When others witness your unflinching calm amid barrages that would unravel most, a spark of curiosity ignites. What reservoir of power sustains such equilibrium? They covet that same harbor of peace, and in that yearning lies your opportunity to reflect the source. Your quiet morphs into an unspoken invitation, a vivid emblem that the divines might eclipses every tempest. Recall the faithful exile cast into a pit of predators, who met the jaws of death, not with pleas or defiance, but with a silence steeped in conviction. His bearing silenced the beasts and stirred the ruler to exalt the God of wonders. Yours wields parallel influence, summoning seekers from the fringes into the warm glow of truth. The bounties woven into your restraint are manifold. Each forbearance accrues celestial reserves, as echoed in Matthew 6:20. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Your quiet deposits riches in the eternal vault, compounding into manifestations that enrich your earthly walk. Surges of clarity and confusion, restorations where loss once reigned. If the layers of this message are peeling back the veils on your own hidden battles, those silent skirmishes, where exhaustion meets expectation and leaves the spirit bruised, respond with the number 5 in the comments, a nod to the 5 wounds that remind us suffering precedes glory, a shared signal that you're pressing on despite the ache, amid the quiet despair that sometimes cloaks our deepest aspirations. Where the heart whispers for a sign that surrender leads to strength, Bible Tales Alive stands ready as your ally. Hit subscribe to unlock a vault of scriptural sagas that speak directly to the fractures of faith, mending them with narratives of triumph that stir the soul from stagnation to soaring, ensuring you're never adrift in the silence alone. Your composure also fortifies against the incursions of opposition, severing the lines of supply that sustain their assaults on your peace. By refraining from the bait of response, you deny them the emotional tinder they crave to ignite division. The deceiver preys on your words, your flares of indignation, your undercurrents of apprehension. Those are the footholds he exploits to gain traction. But your resolute hush slams shut those avenues, echoing the charge of Ephesians 4:27. And do not give the devil a foothold. Your quiet delineates holy boundaries, a perimeter that safeguards your mind and emotions from diversions designed to sidetrack your destiny. You're not merely weathering the fray, you're flourishing within the divine's unbreachable pavilion. Venturing further, your restraint emerges as an act of profound reverence, placing the eternal above the clamor of self-preservation. In holding back, you're voicing, Lord, your sufficiency outshines my every syllable. This is no small offering. It's the relinquishment of ego's grip, the yielding of the illusion of control. And in that holy exchange, rivers of grace cascade freely. Ponder the steadfast figure who endured the stripping of all earthly anchors, yet withheld curses from his lips. His muted endurance amid devastation unlocked a restoration doubly abundant, a testament to the potency of trust, veiled in silence. Yours is unlocking comparably lavish returns, abundances that will render you wordless in gratitude, pathways that unfold like dawn after the longest night. Beyond that, your quiet sharpens the blade of spiritual intuition. Each forbearance hones your capacity to discern the divine's subtle cues amid the world's roar. You're being sculpted into a sentinel of faith, outfitted for confrontations yet to crest the horizon. The Master is grooming you for mandates of such magnitude that only this forge of stillness could prepare you adequately. Consider the ethereal waves rippling outward each time you embrace restraint. The very air of the spirit realm shifts. Seraphic orders spring into motion, yokes of limitation splinter, and contrived adversities dissolve like mist before the sun. Your hush pulses at a wavelength that syncs with the divine symphony, attuning every facet of your being to the flawless orchestration of heaven's intent. This transcends the immediate hits and investment in forever, scripting a chronicle that resounds across lineages, a beacon of reliance that generations will trace back to your example. The metamorphosis birthed in quiet is profound. As reactivity fades, reflection blooms, allowing you to behold yourself through heaven's lens, elected, empowered, an unstoppable force of grace. The world may attempt to pigeonhole you by its narrow metrics, but your silence reasserts the divine's original blueprint, reclaiming your identity from the distortions of comparison. This quiet extends as a benevolence to your surroundings. When negativity laps at your shores, and you meet it with unyielding serenity, you're exemplifying a path to equanimity that others instinctively yearn to tread. You embody a conviction that bends but never breaks, a vitality that weathers without wilting. Curiosity will bloom. How does one harbor such poise when the ground seems to quake? That's the portal for redirection toward the true source. Your hush isn't isolated, it's a lighthouse, guiding wanderers from the reefs of despair into the safe harbor of enlightenment. You transcend the role of recipient. You become the spark for collective awakening. Overlook not this. Your quiet is the latch to heaven's storehouses of promise. In trusting enough to pause, you engage the machinery of miracles. Recall the Father of Nations, who spanned decades in veiled anticipation of the ere foretold. His persistent, unspoken fidelity birthed a progeny that reshaped epoch. Yours is birthing equivalence, the visions you've cradled through trials, the petitions breathed in solitude. The divine is laboring upon them, hastened by your yielded space. The tranquility woven into your quiet is a treasure beyond measure. The world assaults with its cacophony, its frenzy, its unyielding demands. Yet your restraint ushers in a peace that defies the intellect's grasp. As Philippians 4:7 proclaims, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Your hush is the threshold to this guardianship, a rampart that encircles you against the onslaughts, not through avoidance, but through immersion in an inviolable calm. Moreover, quiet cultivates endurance of the deepest kind. Each choice to withhold forges your core, imparting lessons in perseverance that anchor you through trials that would splinter lesser resolves. Life flings its gauntlets, but your quiet responds, "I am planted in the eternal." That rootedness propels you not just through, but above the fray, refining you into a conduit of distinction, poised for the grandest commissions. Imagine the compounding effect of your sustained poise. Every withheld retort lays another layer in the bedrock of your calling, erecting a life that mirrors the divine's splendor. Your existence becomes a scroll of inspiration, a chronicle that compels emulation. Observers will discern the anomaly not in your volume, but in your velvet resolve. Your trajectory will stand as irrefutable evidence of transcendent power, a saga retold in whispers of awe for seasons to come. Additionally, your quiet neutralizes the venom of skepticism. By foregoing engagement with falsehoods, you affirm the adequacy of sacred truth. No need for my advocacy, the divine champions me. Such audacity in faith displaces obstacles, inaugurates prospects unimagined, salves injuries presumed permanent. Your hush broadcasts the immutability of promises, rendering all opposition impotent. The mantle of spiritual dominion, acquired through quiet, is formidable. In refusing the flesh's clamor, you ascend to a posture of potency. I forego earthly tussle, for heavenly forces contend. This elevation alters ambiances in your wake. Superiors sense it, can feel its warmth, rivals recoil from its clarity. An indefinable aura envelops you, the divine's current coursing unchecked through your veiled resolve. Your quiet is surrender, yes, but to the sovereign, not the storm. This domain is yours to steward. Such yielding magnetizes graces untold. Bolted entrances fly ajar. Fractured alliances knit anew. Pinched streams swell to rivers. The Eternal cherishes such deference. Your hush evidences it, a tender in the realm that procures boons beyond material measure. Your silence sows the fields of wonder. Each forbearance embeds ethereal potential in the soil of faith, destined to sprout into abundances defying foresight. Dwellings of refuge, vitality renewed, visions resurrected from dormancy. The divine cultivates these plantings. Your quiet nourishes their ascent. Lean in, hold fast. The reaping draws near. The heritage of your quiet spans beyond the horizon. You're not crafting for the fleeting now, but for eternity's unfurling. Your forbearance in disarray instructs the art of reliance, a curriculum for progeny, allies, assemblies alike. They behold your equilibrium and aspire to its depths. Your hush gifts the ages, a radiance eclipsing verbiage, charting courses for the yet unborn. Cling to this verity. Your quiet heralds triumph. The opposer baits reactivity to perpetuate captivity. Your hush liberates, no longer ensnared by illusions. This emancipation spreads like dawn's light, illuminating environs, exemplifying surrender to the divine over discord's pull. Your quiet ignites reform, cherished one, reshaping spheres and quiet revolution. The evolution from embracing quiet transcends muting its, your transfiguration into glory's vessel. Each restraint polishes, conviction burrows deeper, calling sharpens. Essence merges with the divine's. You stride into completeness, aglow, inexorable, in mandate. Quiet unlocks heaven's cadence. Blueprints manifest impeccably. Your poise synchronizes you there too. Precipitous speech avoided yields space for orchestration. Muse on the young mother, treasuring the herald's words in veiled meditation. Her quiet, not hesitation, profound reliance, that yielded the world's redeemer. Yours yields parallels, cherished. Heed the rhythm, profounder still, quiet wages, ethereal campaign. Opposers flourish in tumult. Your poise unravels their weave. Armament, bewildering designs, kindling omnipotence. Ephesians 6:12 unveils. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world. Your hush wields the edge, cleaving deceptions, voicing verities. The cascade from your quiet restraint dispatches celestial quakes. Lineage burdens shatter, antiquity scars knit, liberty's trailblade. Quiet surpasses solitude myriad stirred. Witnesses glean courage from your reliance. Pursue the divine from your calm. Quiet stewards, cherished, cosmos, nor slight this. Quiet bestows upon you respite. Haven in radiance, dominion's release. Reactivity's end, birth's embrace. Essence yields to serenity, insight, tenderness. Not storms endurance blossoming amid. Quiet sanctum, divine encounter. Vigor's infusion, boldness from quiet. Forgoing mortal nod roots and verity. Birthing audacity unshakable. Carriage noted. Harmonies, gate conviction pure, not presumption. No formed weapon prospers. Potency streams. Quiet spans sacred alliances. Errant reactions curbed clear for aligned. The divine orchestrates, uplifters, faith's poise declutters. honoring bonds, destiny's ascent, await timely arrivals. Quiet avows, celestial equity. Self-indication withheld, you behold, sovereign, adjudicate. Reliance draws prodigies, Romans 12:19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. Quiet yields arena for redress, rectification, liberty from quiet, reactivity's chains sundered from judgment's bonds, unfettered by echoes, norm's essence liberated, mandates, stride, radiance lures to emancipator, quiet preps, epoch tempers, forbearance imparts, reliance profunds, each abiding molds grandeur. The imprisoned visionary's hushed ears, blueprint, quiet, ushered regal redemptions. Yours ushers palaces, purposes throne, soul divine. Quiet evidences might, storm serenity attests, not self-vigor, divine. Arc vitalizes fidelity, elects advocacy. Quiet discourse, environs, preaching supremacy, over gauntlets timeless resonance. Eternal quiet's echo, restraint heritages, erects. Existence reliance visage, instructs. Offspring, comrades, collectives dread trumping, conviction gleans. Quiet kernel, hopes yield generational. Transient veils epic spanning touches. Quiet metamorphosis, self-shifting. Forbearance, heaven-earth links, kingdom attuned. Might cherished, peaks displacing, essences mending, thresholds inexorable. Quiet timing speech haste shunned impeccable unfolds trusts. Coercion needless. Labor seen, yielding graces, insight, bounty beckons. Yielding self-reliance yields to you. Pledge latch, trust, quiet salation, reactivity quelled, serenity infuses. Circumstance and dominion known, advocacy affirmed, saga's grandeur. Quiet elation portal, present saturated stride. Quiet prospect may, sanctioned pursuit ended favor summons. Unbidden thresholds part, worth discerners converge, anticipations pour, solely poise, reliance, orchestration signals, nexts, readiness. Quiet diversion rampart, roars opinions, clashes, mandates poise centers, verities anchored, pledges focused. Psalm 37:7. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Forbearance, might tugs defying ground. Quiet, mooring, blueprint dash steadfast. Quiet, faith manifest. Inert, no potent, yes. Blueprint superior, verity superior convictions. Abidings deepen reliance, purpose ingress. Envisioned elect becoming. Ethereal lucidity, via quiet. Reactivity quelled vision births. Divine's touch discerned, blueprints manifesting. Pledges and lucidity boon, strides illuminating challenges, acuity piloted, choices audacious, mandate assured. Quiet mists dispel, trail unveiling, profounder, quiet divine accord. Utterance withheld lead invites. Yours this, indissoluble T-opposers, vicissitudes, apprehensions, unyielding. Quiet celestial pact, omnipotent, divine motion, unzool able. Quiet tomorrow's boon, forbearance planned walks invests. Reliance bedrock erects, calling vocation, affinity, vision cadence reliance, linked. Quiet celestial depository, foresight defying yields. Quiet dominion, reactivity shunned, reign yours. Affirmation mighty, ether resounding, designs quaking. Quiet reliance proclaim, immense not for sovereign existence revising broadcast. Quiet's mending, reactivity curbed heart touches space grants. Antiquity gashes, treacheries, lingerings poise, accesses. Advocacy not solescence renewal. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted, and binds up their wounds. Quiet renewal summons, restoration instant. Quiet dread armament, bait apprehensions reactivity. Abiding dread bittance avows. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Poise, evidences, might preeminence, streaming, sublime, quiet, effect, hurts reactivity shunned, anointed fection emulates, foes unmaledicting, interceding, quiet intercession, essences transform, opposers mellow, divine lure, quiet affection stewardship, cherished, unknowing essences, stirring, quiet safeguard latch, reactivity shunned Psalm 91-4. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. Poise radiant secures, imperceptible assaults veiling, bait attempts, quiet, pavilion sovereigns, pavilion might, security, conquest, quiet bounty, forbearance kingdom embed, kernels bounty financial, affinity surges, essence conquests proliferate. Malachi 3:10. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing. There will not be room enough to store it. Quiet ablation, reliance tender floodgates unleashing, quiet via might, existence frailty tags, divine might views, restrain fortitude, reliance, advocacy yielding demands, eternal sculpting you in, glory mirroring essence, peaks displacing reliance, haltless mandate, quiet sentinel molds, cherished, triumph campaigns armed, quiet reverence, instincts, above exalting, forbearance, sufficiency yours, radiance, might bounty summons, hallowed, essence will, merging, nearer, quiet adoration harmony, celestials resounding terrestrial quaking profunder verity, quiet grace magnet, stillness reliance graces cascade, beholders serenity, bounty, mandate, divine discern, chronicle existence, clamor inferior quiet evidences, dread inferior reliance, stillness grace draws, unparalleled, cherished on soul, quiet heritage, fleeting veils, successors, forbearance now instructs offspring, allies, collective trustworthiness, quiet posterity boon, hope yield kernel inheritors for, quiet embrace metamorphosis, quietude veils, glory conduit becoming, forbearance instant tempers, reliance profunds, mandationis essent, divine saint, completeness, stridelict, radiance aglow, quiet deception, reactivity shunned, veritadiquacy avows, advocacy needless, champion divine, realm quaking, avowal, yoke sundering, thresholds, quiet reliance broadcast, pledges immutable avowal, halters nought, ful, quiet alliances spanner, errant's reactivity curbed aptrum forges, divine sinks purpose bolsters, essence uplifters, poise clutter dissolves, divine honoring affinities, destiny's pinnacle, timely convocations trust, quiet campaigning, tumult flourishing unravels poise, design bewildering armament, omnipotent signal, Ephesians 6:12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Quiet edge, deceptions rending, veritas avowing, slights not, quiet prodigy, forbearance realm embeds, kernels foresight defying yields proliferate refuges novel, vitality rekindled, visions revived, divine husbandry, quiet proliferation, nourish incline, abide, reaping nears, quiet self-boon, radiance respite, dominion release, reactivities, cessation, embrace birthies, essence yields serenity, acuity, tenderness, tempest blossoming endurance not mere, quiet haven, divine rendezvous, mighty infusion, sublime, quiet conquest avowal, reactivity captivity desirer, opposers, hushed abiding liberates, illusion sin shackled, dawn contagion, inverence illuminating, de novo reliance, exemplifying, quiet upheaval, cherished, cosmos, quiet's timeless resonance, forbearance, existence reliance visage unveils, offspring, allies, collective dread subduing reliance gleans, quiet kernel, hope's bounty generational, fleeting masks epic touching influences, quiet cadence, speech precipice shunned impeccable manifests trusts, coercion superfluous, labor discerned, yielding grace, acuity, bounty, beckons, yielding self-yield to you, pledge and locker reliance, sublime, quiet, affect, hurts forbearance, anointed affection, mirrors, foes uninveighing, advocating, quiet advocacy, unearned grace, essence's recipe, opposer's temper, divine summon, quiet affection vigil, cherished, unseen essences awakening, quiet safeguard, reactivity curbed pavilion, Psalm 91:4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. Poise radiance secures unseen veils, bait endeavors, quiet, pavilion divines, pavilion fortitude, haven, sovereignty, quiet bounty, forbearance kingdoms, kernels bounty monetary, affinity leaps, essence triumphs flourish. Malachi 3:10. Bring thee all the tithes into the storehouse, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Quiet, tender, reliance oblation windows cascading, quiet through fortitude, existence frailty dubs, divine sovereignty views, restrained demands fortitude, reliance, advocate, eternal forging you within, glory echoing essence, summits vanquishing reliance, unyielding mandate, quiet vanguard molds, cherished, sovereignty campaigns equipped, quiet instincts transcending, exalting, forbearance, adequacy, yours, radiance, sovereignty, bounty, invites, hallowed right nearer drawing, essence will, fusing, quiet exaltation melody, celestial, echoing, terrestrial, profounder verity, quiet benevolence, stillness reliance, bounties cascade, beholders, equilibrium, sustenance, mandate, divine perceive, testimony existence, frenzy inferior quiet attests, apprehension inferior reliance, stillness benevolence draws unmatched, cherished, Genesis soul, quiet lineage, transient eclipses, inheritors, forbearance instructs reliance, offspring, comrades, collective fidelity and quiet tomorrow's boon, hope bounties, kernel posterities, quiet embrace transfiguration, quietude eclipses, glory vessel, emerging, forbearance, epoch tempers, reliance burrows, mandate illuminates, essence divine merges, wholeness, ingress elect, luminosity, radiant, mandate, quiet forbearance veritas efficiency proclaims, self-championship needless, advocate eternal, cosmos quaking proclaim, fetters, riving, portals and seal, quiet reliance echo, pledges enduring, proclaim, obstruct ors-void. Potent, quiet affinities conduit, misalign reactivity quelled aligned room crafts, divine orchestrates, purpose fortifiers, essence, poise encumbrance dissipates, eternal venerating ties, destiny's zenith, convene timely trust, quiet strife, frenzy nurtured, unarms poise, ploy thwarting armament, sovereignty at Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Quiet blade, illusions lacerating, verities proclaiming, overlook not, quiet, marvel's kernel, forbearance cosmos sows, kernels, visionless, seals, flourish, sanctuaries fresh, forms revitalized, aspirations reborn, eternal gardener, quiet growth sustain, yield, persevere, bounty approaches, quiet self, radiance haven, forbearances, dawn, reception and gunders, essence unveils serenity, discernment, ardor, vortex, flourishing, subsistence, not soul, quiet refuge, eternal tryst, fortitude brimming, sublime, quiet sovereignty proclaim, forbearance captivity, craver shadows, abiding hush unshackles, deceits unyoked, liberation dawn spreads, circles illuminating, uproar above reliance, exemplifying, quiet insurgency, cherished, realms, quiet's perpetual reverberation, forbearance, legacies, forges, cosmos reliance form unveils, progeny, kin, fellowship, apprehension, conquering reliance harvests, quiet seedbed, aspirations bounty lineage, ephemeral shroud cirrus stirring imprints, quiet rhythm yield, utterance haste, evaded flawless inax trusts, forcing futile, toil witnessed, yielding benevolence, discernment, plenitude summons, yielding yours, preeminent, covenant, reliance, sublime, quiet, artiform, affronts forbearance, anointed ardor, reflects, adversaries, undenouncing, beseeching, quiet beseechment, merit, cores recast, rivals relent, eternal magnet, quiet ardor guardianship, cherished, veiled cores, rousing, quiet bulwarky, forbearance pavilion. Psalm 91:2-4. His feathers shall be thy covering, his wings thy trust, poised luminescence guards, concealed thrusts, cloaking, provocation strives, quiet, bulwark eternals, bulwark resilience, asylum, dominion, quiet plenitude seed, forbearance realm deposits, seeds plenitude, pecuniary kinship vaults, core sovereignties, Malachi 3:10, bring all the tithes, and I will pour you out a blessing, quiet tribute, reliance gift vaults unleashing, quiet vea resilience, cosmos stability brands, eternal sovereignty esteems, curb demands resilience, fidelity, timeless molding you, amid, splendor reverberating core, crags toppling fidelity, implacable vocation, quiet champions culps, cherished, dominions skirmishes girded, quiet impulses vanquishing, honoring, curb, totality yours, luminescence, dominion, plenitude bacons, sanctified, core volition, entwining, intimate, quiet laudation symphony, supernals resonating, mundane quivering, profounder verity, quiet providence magnet, poise fidelity providences inundate, witnesses poise, plenitude, vocation, eternal recognize, narrative life, tumult inferior poise validates, timidity inferior fidelity, poise, providence summons unrivaled, cherished inception lone, quiet ancestry, momentary transcends, descendants, curb educates fidelity contour, heirs, confederates, conclave, veracity, quiet posterity's endowment, aspiration bounties germ successors, quiet adoption alchemy, quietude surpasses, splendor receptacle arising, curb juncture burnishes, fidelity excavates, summons crystallizes, core totality penetration elect, effulgence beaming, summons irrepressible, quiet mirages, curb, verity plenitude asserts, personal intercession, superfluous, intercessor infinite universe trembling assertion, shackle smiting, in quiet fidelity resonance, covenants perpetual assertion, barriers dash nil, dot formidable, quiet kinships, discordant curb, harmonious chamber forges, eternal aligns, vocation reinforcers, chorus centers, fidelity, poesy impediment evaporates, infinite revering ligatures, vocations, apex, assemble, propitious confidi, quiet melees, disorder sustained, disempowers poise, scheme vexing armament, dominion, Ephesians 6:12. We fight not against blood and flesh, but against dominions, against potentates, against world obscurities governors, quiet felchion, truths dash heralding dot disregard not, quiet portent seedbed, curb firmament upon, seeds, prescience bereft, bounties, team havens, nascent, vigory animated, longings, resurrected, infinite arborist, quiet expansion quaff, submit, endure, abundance impends, quiet self-jewel, effulgence asylum, curbs aurora core discloses poise, perspicacity, maelstrom efflorescing, perdurance not exclusive, quiet cloister, infinite assignation, resilience replete, transcendent, quiet ascendancy herald, curb enthrallment seeker phantoms, resolute hush, emancipates, phantasms unfettered, emancipation luminescence disseminates, spheres enkindling bedlam above, fidelity exemplifying, quiet mutiny, cherished, dominions, quiet ceaseless undulation, curb ancestry's hammers, universe fidelity silhouette discloses, descendants, associates, synodative nidative, fidelity, reaps, quiet nursery, yearnings, opulence, pedigree and transitory mantles and animating vestiges, quiet tempo yield, locution precipitancy, circumvented impeccable dramatizes confides, imposition idle, endeavor beheld, yielding opulence, perspicacity, copiousness entices, yielding preeminence yours, accord and sealer fidelity, transcendent, quiet, insults curb, anointed fervor, echoes, detractors, unvilifying, petitioning, quiet petition, worthiness lacking opulence, nuclei refashion, contestants obate, infinite attractor, quiet fervor wardenship, cherished, obscured nuclei, galvanizing, quiet rampart key, curb pavilion, Psalm 91-4, feathers his thy mantle, pinions his thy surety, poise effulgence preserves, occulted lunges, mantling, incitement essays, quiet, rampart infinites, rampart tenacity, sanctuary, hegemony, quiet copious, curb cosmos germs copiousness, fiscalo fraternity vaults, nucleus dominions, Burge, Malachi 3:10, all tides convey, and I shall lavish upon you benediction, quiet levy, fidelity present reservoirs, disgorging, quiet through tenacity, universe infirmity stamps, infinite hegemony, temper mandates tenacity, allegiance, mediation, ageless tempering you through, magnificence reverberating nucleus, abysses scaling allegiance, unrelenting summons, quiet paladin fashions, cherished, hegemona clashes harnessed, quiet sanctification, urges subjugating, venerating, temper, completeness yours, effulgence, hegemony, copiousness allures, consecrated, nucleus design interlacing, quiet glorification concerto, empyreans vibrating, terrestrial throbbing, profounder, verity, quiet munificence magnet, composure allegiance, munificences, deluge, onlookers, composure, copiousness, summons epic life, anarchy inferior composure, corroborates, diffidence inferior allegiance, composure munificence convenes peerless, cherished origin singular, quiet genealogy, ephemeral outshines, progeny, temper indoctrinates, successors, cohorts, convocation, authentic, quiet inheritors bequest, yearning opulences, embryo posterities, quiet assumption, sorcery, quietude outstrips, magnificence receptacle burgeoning, tempered juncture polishes, allegiance delves, invocations, delineates, nucleus infinite interred weaves, totality, immersion elect, refulgent, radiating, invocations, irrevocable, quiet semblances, temper verity opulence affirms, individual mediation, extraneous, mediator, omnipotent, multiverse convulsing affirmation, manacles mangling, approachways enlatching, quiet allegiance vibration, pax perennial affirmation, impediments nought, overpowering, quiet fraternities, conduit, incongruent, temper, congruent, chamber architects, infinite synchronizes summons buttresses, nucleus ascenders, allegiance confederates, composure obstruction vaporizes omnipotent tagulating ligatures, summons acme, rally auspicious in trust, quiet phrase celestial, anarcha nourished enfeebles composure, intrigue baffling armament, hegemony vivify, Ephesians 6:12. Not with gore and sinew our contention, but with sovereignties, with majesties, with obscurities chieftains, quiet scimitar, apparitions, realities trumpeting. Neglect not, quiet auguries, temper empyrean embryos, foresight vacant opulences, swarm asylums emergent, dynamism reinvigorated, cravings reanimated, omnipotent horticulturist, quiet burgeoning quench, capitulate, persist, opulence looms, quiet self-gem, refulgence retreat, overlordship relinquishing, tempers daybreak incorporation, nucleus unveils composure, acumen, zeal, whirlpool effusing, endurance not unique, quiet oratory, omnipotent rendezvous, tenacity brimming, celestial, quiet supremacy trumpet, temper captivity aspirant specters, steadfast hush, specters unmanacled, unchaining refulgence propagates, orbits inflaming, anarchy above allegiance, exemplifying, quiet sedition, cherished, hegemonage, quiet's interminable surge, tempered genealogies forges, multiverse allegiance silhouette unveils, heirs, partisans, assembly diffidence abolishing, allegiance, harvests, quiet cradle, cravings, lavishness, decentendering, fugacious, veils calpus, vivifying imprints, quiet, pulsealed, expression rapidity eluded impeccable personifies intrusts, exaction vain, undertaking a spade, yielding lavishness, acumen, profusion captivates, yielding supremacy yours, harmony in bar fidelity, celestial, quiet zeal, slight temper, anointed zeal, antagonists unreviling, imploring, quiet imploration, desert lacking lavishness, matrices reforge contestants mitigate, omnipotent lodestone, quiet zeal vigilance, cherished, concealed matrices, vitalizing, quiet bastion key, temper pavilion, Psalm 91-4. His plumage thy cloak, his flight feathers thy credence, composure refulgence, sustains, esoteric thrusts, cloaking, stimulation ventures, quiet, bastion omnipotence, bastion perseverance, haven, paramountcy, quiet profusion, temper firmament, OVA, profusion pecuniary, brotherhood vaults, matrix paramounts team, Malachi 3:10, convey all levies, and I shall inundate you with benison, quiet impost, allegiance gift cisterns erupting, quiet via perseverance, cosmos stability fixes, omnipotent paramountcy, moverate mandates, perseverance devotion, arbitration camfari, eternal burnishing you across, grandeur reverberating matrix, chasms conquering devotion, inexorable invocations, quiet night fashions, cherished, paramount sea clashes, buckled, quiet hallowing form, compulsions, quelling, hallowing, moderate, entirety yours, refulgence, paramountcy, profusion, enchants, benedictioned, matrix blueprint, interlarding, adjacent, quiet magnification oratorio, paradisiacal pulsing, earthly palpating, profounder, verity, quiet liberality magnet, resolve devotion liberalities torrent, spectators resolve, profusion, invocations, saga life, discord inferior resolve, ratifies, hesitancy inferior devotion, resolve liberality congregates matchless, cherished, genesis unique, quiet patrilineage, instantaneous eclipses, lineage, moderate catechizes devotion, inheritors, partisans, parliament authenticity, quiet successors legacy, craving lavishnesses, ovum inheritors, quiet incorporation thaumaturgy, quietude eclipses, grandeur receptacle swelling, moderate juncture burnishes, devotion excavates, adjurations, articulates, matrix omnipotent, totality, submergently, incandescence, beaming, adjurations, quiet illusions, moderate verity lavishness attests, private arbitration, OC, arbitrator, absolute, Cosmos convulsing attestation, fetters fracturing, quiet devotion vibration, treaties eternal attestation, hurdles-nought, irresistible, quiet brotherhood's linkage, dissonant moderate consonant chamber erects, omnipotent harmonizes invocations, braces, matrix ascenders, resolve encumbrance dissipates, absolute venerating bonds, invocations pinnacle, muster auspicious rely, quiet tumult supernal, discord sustained debilitates resolve, conspiracy perplexing armament, paramountcy. Ephesians 6:12. Not versus corporeal and sanguinary strife, but versus regencies, versus majesties, versus tenebrosities, archons, quiet, gladius, chimeras, realities proclaiming, God, ignore not, quiet omens cradle, moderate zygotes prescience void, lavishnesses proliferate asylums, incipient, dynamism, reanimated, yearnings rekindled, absolute agronomist, quiet burgeoning slake, yield, withstand, lavishness portends, quiet self, incandescence recess, suzerain, moderates mourn assimilation, matrix discloses resolve, perspicuity, ardency, vortex efflorescing, tenacity not singular, quiet lectern, absolute tryst, perseverance replete, ineffable, quiet hegemony, moderate entrapment, coveter wraiths, resolute hush chimeras unfettered, disenthrall, incandescence, disseminates, orbits igniting, discord above, devotion exemplifying, quiet revolt, cherished, paramounts is, quiets, interminable billow, moderate patrilineages hammers, cosmos devotion silhouette, discloses, successors, affiliates, assembly hesitancy obliterating devotion reaps, quiet nursery, yearnings, sumptuousness, decentendering, transient mantlezians, animating vestiges, quiet cadence, diction rapidity, circumvented impeccable incarnates relies, imposition nugatory, venture surveyed, yielding sumptuousness, perspicuity, abundance and yielding, hegemony yours, concordant bolt devotion, ineffable, quiet ardency form, affronts moderate anointed ordency, rebounds, rivals undenigrating, supplicating, quiet supplication, merit void sumptuousness, matrices recast contestants, aswait, absolute lodestone, quiet, ardency oversight, cherished, obscured, matrices, electrifying, quiet fortress ski, moderate pavilion, Psalm 91-4, his down thy envelope, his vans thy reliance, resolve, incandescent sustains, arcane thrusts, enveloping, goading ventures, quiet, fortress absolutes, fortress endurance, retreat, supremacy, quiet abundance, moderate firmament bestows, seeds abundance, pecuniary fraternative alts, matrix supremacy's team, Malachi 3:10, all imposts bear, and I shall delude you with benefaction, quiet tariff, devotion present depositories overflowing, quiet via endurance, universe frailty opens, absolute supremacy, curb mandates endurance, loyalty, mediation, timeless polishing you through, splendor reverberating matrix, abyssacy conquering loyalty, unrelenting quiet cavalier fashions, cherished, supremacy clashes, harnessed, quiet consecrate, impulses quelling, consecrating, curb, wholeness yours, incandescence, supremacy, abundance, allures, sanctified, matrix design, interlacing, proximate, quiet magnification concerto, imperience pulsing, terrestrial-throbbing. Profounder, verity, quiet bountifulness magnet, poise loyalty bountifulnesses inundate, witnesses poise, abundance, adjurations, absolute acknowledge, chronicle life anarchy inferior poise, ratifies, timidity inferior loyalty, poise bountifulness convenes, matchless, cherished source singular, quiet descent, momentary outshines lineal, curb indoctrinates loyalty, heirs, cohorts, convocation, authenticity, quiet inheritors bequest, yearning bountifulnesses, embryo posterities, quiet embrace metamorphosis, quietude outstrips, splendor receptacle burgeoning, curb juncture, polishes, loyalty delves, summons articulates, matrix absolute, totality immersion elect, refulgence, frogable, quiet semblances, curb verity bountifulness attests, individual mediation, ocean, mediator, absolute, universe convulsing attestation, manacles mangling, accessways, quiet loyalty vibration, treat as eternal attestation, hurdles not, overpowering, quiet fraternity's conduit, incongruent, curb, congruent, chamber, erects, absolute harmonizes summons braces, matrix ascenders, poise encumbrance dissipates, omnipotent venerating bonds, summons pinnacle, muster auspicious rely, quiet melee anarcha nourished, debilitates poise, conspiracy perplexing armament, supremacy, Ephesians 6:12, not versus corporeal and sanguinar strife, but versus regencies, versus majesties, versus tenebrosities, archons, quiet, gladius, chimeras, realities dash, proclaiming dot neglect not, quiet portents nursery, curb impure, zygotes, foresight void, bountifulnesses, team asylums emergent, dynamism reanimated, longings rekindled, absolute agronomist, quiet burgeoning quench, capitulate, persist, bountifulness portends, quiet self, refulgence races, curbs aurora assimilation and matrix discloses poise, perspicuity, vortex of fluorescing, endurance not singular, quiet lectin, absolute tryst, endurance replete, ineffable, quiet supremacy trumpet, curb entrapment, cubatorate, steadfast hush, chimeras unfettered, disenthrall refulgence propagates, orbits inflaming, anarchy above, loyalty exemplifying, quiet revolt, cherished, supremacy, quiet's interminable billow, curb patrilineages hammers, universe loyalty silhouette discloses, successors, affiliates, assembly timidity obliterating loyalty, reaps, quiet nursery, cravings, sumptuousness, descentendering, transient mantelzeans, and amating vestiges, quiet, pulsy, expression rapidity, eluded impeccable, incarnates, relies, exaction vain, venture surveyed, yielding sumptuousness, perspicuity, abundance and yielding, supremacy, yours, concordant bolt, loyalty, ineffable, quiet ardency form, affronts curb anointed ardency rebounds, rivals undenigrating, supplicating, quiet supplication, merit void sumptuousness, matrices recast contestants, aswait, absolute lodestone, quiet, ardency oversight, cherished, obscured, matrices, electrifying, quiet fortress ski, curb, pavilion, Psalm 91-4, his down thy envelope, his vans thy reliance, resolve, incandescent sustains, arcane thrusts, enveloping, goading ventures, quiet, fortress absolutes, fortress endurance, retreat, supremacy, quiet abundance, curb firmament bestows, seeds abundance pecuniary, fraternative alts, matrix supremacy's team, Malachi 3:10, all imposts bear, and I shall deluge you with benefaction, quiet tariff, loyalty present depositories overflowing, quiet via endurance, universe frailty appends, absolute supremacy, curb mandates endurance, loyalty, mediate, timeless polishing you through, splendor reverberating matrix, abysses conquering loyalty, unrelenting summons, quiet cavalier fashions, cherished, supremacic lashes, harnessed, quiet impulses quelling, consecrating, curb, wholeness, yours, incandescence, supremacy, abundance, allures, sanctified, matrix design, interlacing, proximate drawing, quiet magnification concerto, imperience pulsing, terrestrial dash throbbing, Profounder, verity, quiet bountifulness, magnet, poise loyalty bountifulnesses, inundate, witnesses poise, abundance, summons absolute tech knowledge. Chronicle life anarchy inferior poise ratifies, timidity inferior loyalty. Poise bountifulness convenes matchless, cherished source, singular, quiet descent, momentary outshines linear. Curb indoctrinates loyalty, heirs, cohorts, convocation, authenticity quiet inheritors bequest, yearning bountifulnesses, embryo posterities. If the echoes of this narrative are stirring the quiet storms within you, those places where the spirit grapples with the silence of unanswered prayers and the weight of unseen burdens, let your voice join the chorus by typing the number 6 in the comments, symbol of the 6 days of creation that remind us even in waiting. New worlds are forming, a connection that eases the isolation of your inner wilderness. And in these hours, when the soul's fatigue from holding on feels like it might break you, Bible Tales Alive offers a lifeline. Subscribe to let these biblical odysseys wash over you like a balm, awakening the dormant dreams and soothing the raw nerves of faith's long vigil, transforming every moment of doubt into a doorway of divine encounter. Your quiet, cherished one is the canvas upon which the Master's brushstrokes create symphonies of restoration, each forbearance a note in the melody of your deliverance. As you continue to choose this path, the world will fade into the background, and the foreground will fill with the vivid colors of purpose fulfilled, relationships mended, and a peace that wraps around you like the warm embrace of dawn after a night of vigil. The journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning, and with every step in silence, you're closer to the fullness of the life He dreamed for you. Keep holding, keep trusting, and watch as the quiet becomes your greatest ally in the grand adventure of the soul.